In past videos, I've been playing all sorts of different characters in order to learn how to get better at Overwatch in general. And of course, that sounds counterintuitive, but really I wasn't feeling the character that I already picked out for myself. You know, I was on a bit of a burnout. So I decided to play someone who's really close to her, but also not her. Works, okay? I don't want to hear it. Matter of fact, fuck you guys. Here, all you stuff of my... As you can see, life comes at you fast, but not quite as fast as Reinhardt's charge, so I picked someone who can straight up just nullify his charge, even though I've literally never used chain to stop it. But that's just how you know I know what I'm talking about. I mean, come on. You're the one who clicked on the video called a beginner's guide, so... Let's get this straight right off the bat. Mizuki is a lot like Brig. He's basically Brig, except instead of a timer, his heals work off of a multiplier. His multiplier is in the exact same size as Lucio's speed boost and Lucio's heal. It's literally just Lucio's area effect, which is around 12 meters. While when it comes to Brig can be really nice when it comes to defense. Mizuki can be a whole lot more balanced in his playstyle. He can be aggressive or he can be defensive. Either way, he can be very flexible and brought in a lot of situations. However, it does suck that he is another one of those off healers who can't just streamline heals like some people want. But just like a lot of other supports, if he's played right, he can be the foundation, the backbone, and carry an entire team. So let's get into what you'll need to know in order to carry teams. Mizuki, just like Brig, has on-demand healing and passive healing. Mizuki's passive healing is about the same size as Lucio's crossfade, so just keep that in mind, and it's always on. You don't need to hit anyone for it to activate, but it starts at a one-time multiplier, and dealing damage, throwing your hat, and chaining people are all ways of building that same multiplier. At its base level of a one-time multiplier, to yourself it gives you around 3.5 healing per second, and to your allies it gives 5 healing per second. When it's fully maxed out, that multiplier goes up to 4 times, so you'll be getting 20 healing to your team and 14 healing to yourself. And your energy can be built by dealing damage, hitting people with the binding chain, and throwing your hat like I said earlier, but they all give different amounts of bar or multiplier, whatever you want to call it. Just dealing damage gives 20% of that bar, 15% of that is throwing out your hat, and 40% is hitting your binding chain. Now, the 20% I spoke of earlier will be you using your primary fire, which is your Spirit Glaive. The Spirit Glaive does 30 base damage and 30 damage over time. It has a sort of like a bleed effect it deals on people. So even when they're out of your sight, they'll still be taking damage after being hit, along with the fact that it can bounce off of walls. So, I mean, just tap into your geometry class days and just start knocking that thing off a wall. She'll hit people, I promise. Alongside of that, it also has the 2 times multiplier for crits. So whenever you hit a headshot, you can bump both those damages up to 60. And especially because you have 15 shots and it can go around 30 meters, just start throwing that shit out. Do not be scared to just be throwing out your left click, your primary fire, as many times as you can, as many times as you want to, because you really lose nothing off of just throwing one out and seeing where it will bounce. It even has a special stat called armor piercing, where if it hits a target that has armor, it'll shoot through that armor like it was health. It'll ignore the armor protection percentage and just chew through it like as if it was health. So genuinely, do not be afraid to just thump this thing. Now, I've already mentioned it a couple times, but your hat. The hat throw is your on-demand heals. It's your form of the repair kit. It's like your healing Ofuda. You can just throw this out and it ignores barriers and shields. So like if a Ramatra tries to put down his shield to block the heals to your Rhine, doesn't matter. You can throw your hat through that shield into your Rhine, but you still do need line of sight. However, you only need line of sight on one person, and then it will bounce to your other teammates, depending on where your teammates are. If your teammates are behind you, then it'll just bounce to the person in front of you and come back to you. But if everybody's in front of you, it'll bounce to every single teammate and back to you. That is what makes this thing special. The initial healing, the first bounce will give that person 90 health. Then the next bounce will give 70, and the next bounce will give 50, and the next bounce will give, and so on and so forth. And by the time it comes back to you, you should get a decent amount of health back. Normally it's around 30. Just because it compares to healing Ofuda does not mean it's close to healing Ofuda. This thing runs on 2 charges and a timer. You can throw it out as many times as you want when those 2 charges are up. However, it's still going to be on a 6-second cooldown. So make sure you're throwing your hat with a purpose, and make sure you're not just throwing that thing out all the damn time, because you will find that when you need it the most, it is on a cooldown. Speaking of cooldowns, most characters have a get out of jail free card, and for Mizuki, that is his Katashiro Return, or as I like to call it, the totem. Katashiro Return is honestly, it's a rather simple thing. You put on Paper Doll, you get a movement speed boost on it, and you get to leap away from that doll at the same time. And you even get about 1/4 of a second of invulnerability as you cast Katashiro Return. So whilst you're in that leap, sort of, you have invulnerability. So anything that hits you will just not affect you at all. And because of the type of character Mizuki is, they have a perk that gives them the health regen after using their movement ability, which is Katashiro Return. So you get a lot of good things off of using this. However, it is on a 12-second cooldown, so make sure to use it with the purpose, of course. You can use Katashiro Return combined with Binding Chain to make a really offensive play and get a pick and come back to your team, or you can use it to just get away from something or get away from a fight, or get away from someone who you just don't want to fight. And speaking of not wanting to fight someone, Binding Chain. Binding Chain is basically a tethering tool, a form of CC to keep people in place and keep them stuck in one area for a decent amount of time. For non-tanks, it's around 1.5 seconds. For actual tanks, it's around a second. It really just depends on who you chain. The max range is around 20 meters. Projectile speed, it's literally just whip shot. If you're good with Briggs whip shot, you will 9 times out of 10 hit chain. The only difference between chain and whip shot is the size. If you're able to hit your whip shots, you'll be able to hit your chain. However, it doesn't just keep them stuck in that one place like as if it was on a sleep dart. They can stretch out the tether to like the left or the right and move around a little bit to try and dodge your attacks. But if you hit them with a chain, you're most likely going to execute and kill the character in general. However, it can be blocked by shields and stuff, and Genji's deflect does block it, but it does not reflect it, so keep that in mind. And the last thing in his base kit is his ult, which is the Kekai Sanctuary. His ult, upon casting, gives 100 healing instantly, and it heals 40 per second to anybody who is inside of its 7-meter radius, which is pretty damn nice. It lasts for around 6 seconds, and it has a little bit of linger time, but not anything really notable. However, what's really important is what this thing can do. Not the healing it grants, but what it does. It absorbs anything that is not your teammates' like fire or abilities. Anything you throw at Kekai will be absorbed like as if it was defense matrix. However, the same things that go through defense matrix do go through Kekai, so beams of any sort will go through. As long as it's not like a melee attack, if it's any sort of projectile or hit scan or a dynamite, or you can nullify Emre's ult by throwing this down, unless Emre wants to fly into it, in which case just chain him and then kill him. But literally anything that is not a melee attack or your teammates' attacks will completely be nullified once shot at this sanctuary. So use it to take space or to defend the space you want to keep. It can be used offensively and defensively, but it is best used defensively against other ults. I would say like reactively. Like I said earlier, Emre's ult is pretty much neutralized by it, but you can also use it to try and get rid of other ults. However, there are still some ults that can't really be nullified by it, such as Onron's Swanton Bomb, Zar's Graviton Surge, Symmetra's Photon Barrier, Sigma's ult, Wrecking Ball's Mines, Reinhardt's Earth Shatter, Genji's Blade, Sojourn's Overclock. All those things that actively just deny shields in general will not be affected by Mizuki's ult. But other than that, everything else is free game, so just go ahead and see what you can block and see what you can. Now when it comes to his perks, he has some pretty decent ones. He has perks for if you want to be passive, and he has perks for if you want to be aggressive. I'll start with his aggressive perks because I like to be aggressive when I play Mizuki. Now, as I said earlier, there is a little something you can do with Mizuki's combination of his Cashier return and his chain. You can choose to throw down the paper doll, go like take a little flank position in the 4.5 seconds, where we have 4.5 seconds to do this. Go for a chain, go for a pick, or just go for a chain in general because you want to charge your multiplier and come back with the multiplier either fully charged and a pick under your belt, or you died because you forgot to return. And that is where the minor perk Exposed Soul comes in. Hitting an enemy with Binding Chain increases your damage dealt to them by 30% for 2 seconds, which is basically around the time that chain lasts. So for as long as someone's in this chain while you have this perk active, you have a 30% damage increase to them, which you can pretty much hit them with 2 Spirit Glaive hits and a melee, and that'll pretty much kill almost every time, unless it's someone who's a bit bulkier than the average character. Next up for the major perk when it comes to being aggressive is Quick Step. While Cashier Return is active, allies within the Remedy aura gain that 20% increase in movement speed. If you're popping Cashier Step, it's either because you want to be offensive or it's because you're going to need to be defensive. And in both ways, having that speed boost given to your teammates is always nice. Whether they need to run from something or they want to chase something down, it's always nice to have that extra movement speed. Now, on the other hand, the minor perk Wellspring is just a Remedy or resource generation increase by 25%. It's really nothing crazy. It just increases how much percentage your certain things give to your Remedy aura. So instead of just 20% for your hero's damage dealt, it'd be 25%. Instead of the normal stats, you would get that 25% increase. It's nothing crazy. It's just exactly what it sounds like. And your major perk for if you want to be a lower passive is Resonant Return. That just adds 10 healing to every bounce. So the first bounce gave 90, now it gives 100. The second bounce gave 70, now it gives 90. It just keeps on going on and so forth because it just builds and builds and builds, like the hat healing that builds when you just throw the hat in general. The more the hat bounces, the more healing it gives to everyone it bounces to. So you just have that plus the 10, it's just a good amount of a good boost of healing. Nothing wrong with that. Now, of course, there are multiple different ways to play every character. I found the best success to be when you played Mizuki aggressively. People never expect the flanking Mizuki with Binding Chain to just pick off one of their healers, but it happens more than you'd think. So don't ever be afraid to be a little offensive, but remember to always keep your team in your mind first. Yeah, look for that pick. Yeah, look for someone out of position, but make sure you're always looking, and this comes hand in hand with the method I've coined, the punch, hold, slide, repeat method.
What? Punch out, slide, repeat. Punch out, slide, repeat.
All it is you put down the doll, you go behind enemy lines, you chain someone, you come back to the doll. Punch the doll, hold the shift button, slide on the ops, repeat. Now, do not get it twisted. I'm not telling you to just go flanking, you'll be fine. I'm not telling you to do that. I am telling you that all you need to do is be a little bit of a pest. Once you come back to that doll, look around, throw the hat, take an angle, try and keep your Remedy aura up. You do not, after you do your little flanking, you do not need to look for a pick. And remember, you can't just keep going for that same method over and over again. It is not a faultless method. Remember, once you do it once, they're probably going to be looking for it again. So, and you also need your Cashier return for if shit gets dicey. So recognize when you can and can't go. Whether or not you can take time out of your busy schedule of babysitting your team to be able to go for a quick chain and a pick, or whether or not you need to stay back, keep your aura up, and just keep fighting. And of course, I ain't just gonna yap to you and just be flapping my gums, talking all this bullshit, and not show you guys. Oh, it's Genji. Okay, I'm gonna take the less offensive stance. Let's do another Genji. Take a breath, I'm gonna relax, I'm gonna funnel heals. This is my chain, it's fine. Going in twice. Get Rig out of here. Oh my goodness. What a deflect. Man, he's so agile, it's so hard to hit. Where's my hat? I'm not gonna worry about that, honestly. Is she gonna try to fucking kill me? What? I just threw hats. He ran. I'm not worried. I don't want to get moved. I don't want to charge this. Staying out of that range. I don't want to do there. Damn. After again. Get out of there. Get out of there. Oh, you lucky. You lucky ducky. Ooh, you were so dead right there. Oh my goodness. Block. I wasn't fighting him, but anything good? Is Megan Fox thick as hell? No, no, she's not. I don't know how to tell you this one, twin, but she is not, brother. Sorry to say. Chain. Oh god, oh god, oh god, zigzag, serpentine, serpentine. Okay, we'll do this. Let's just hold on a moment now. Let's just take a breath. Where'd he go? Beautiful ult. Oh, dude. We will agree to disagree, but yeah, it was some good announcements. Not gonna spoil it though. Stay off Twitter. I don't even really use Twitter. I should make a Twitter account, but I don't even really use Twitter. Hey, 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 hey! Ah! 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 I'll check it out after this game. You try any DPS? Not any new ones really. I low-key sold my. Shoot. I'm gonna just do it myself. Where's my hat? Where's my hat? Hat is never there when you need it, bro. I swear. Okay, I just wasted my getaway. Help me! Help me! Please help me! And yeah, that's it. I know that section was a little bit shorter, but I feel like it showed a lot of what Mizuki's about, and it had a lot of the things I talked about in this video. You know, using Katashiro to get away and also to chase down, using his ult to counter other ults. Just a whole lot of using just Mizuki, as I stated earlier. So even though it was short, it's definitely a lot of the stuff that I talked about. If you got this far into the video, comment spicy pickles. Yeah, it feels like a good one. Anyway, thank you so much for getting this far into the video. If you did, comment spicy pickles. Yeah, it feels like a good one. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Tell me something I could do in this video, make it better, or just something I missed in general in this video. It is called a beginner's beginner guide for a reason. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye.